University is an accredited private nonprofit online university which was founded in 1997 by a group of 19 Western governors, including Governor Mike Lowry. This university offers undergraduate and graduate degree programs in business, teacher education, information technology, and health professions. Western Governors University is approved by the U.S. Department of Education, so individuals who attend that university are able to use financial aid resources. What this bill would do is it expresses an intent to partner with Western Governors University to establish Western Governors University Washington. It recognizes that Western Governor University Washington is a self-supporting baccalaureate degree granting institution, and it directs the Higher Education Coordinating Board to work with WGU Washington to create data sharing processes and performance assessments. The bill also permits the HEC Board to recognize and endorse online competency-based education as an important component of the state's higher ed system, and to work to eliminate any unnecessary barriers to the delivery of online competency-based education by the university. There is a fiscal note. There is no fiscal impact to this bill. The HEC Board can absorb that work.
Thank you. Any questions of staff? Senator Castleman, did you wish to comment on your bill?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. As you noted, there is no fiscal note associated with this. I'm sorry? Nobody driving the ship. Okay, well, it's better for me to move forward.
He did ask it. The chair asked me to keep things moving.
I understood. Senator Murray's voice changed all of a sudden. I wasn't going to look back. As staff said, there is no fiscal note on this bill, and the reason it's before this committee is because the HEC Board in the future could make a determination, as they could with any educational institution. The state need grant could be used, in fact, to attend that particular university. It is my understanding from staff that's why it's before us. Very briefly, let me just say this, that WG was started by Washington State with $100,000, that 18 other states also contributed to the establishment of WGU. It is a very economical option for the estimated, well, thousands of people right now who do not have access to higher education and are time limited and also distance limited. The cost to the taxpayers in Washington State, again, would be nothing, but a person attending would pay approximately $2,800 to $2,900 for every 6 months, unlimited access to credit hours. The average completion time is 30 months as opposed to 60 months, and is right now the leading sole source provider of math and science teachers certificates in the United States. This mimics a similar arrangement in Indiana, WGU Indiana, and is endorsed by the Gates Foundation, Randy Dorn, the HEC Board, Sam Smith, former president of WSU, and former Health and Human Services Secretary Governor Leavitt. Would encourage people to go ahead and look at this as a golden opportunity to provide access, especially to those who are underserved, which, by the way, 81% of their students are typically underserved, fall within that category. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Signed up to testify is Iris Matei-Gibson, Tom Coswell, and Marcia Riddle-Bully. And I had to come back up here because Senator Hatfield was going to exact some bills. Welcome.
Greetings, Chairman and Committee members. My name is Iris Matei-Gibson, representing the Associated Students of Western Washington University. Appreciate the opportunity today to express the students at Western Washington University and Eastern Washington University's concerns with Senate Bill 5136.
You're going to focus on the fiscal issue.
Exactly, right? Yes. Students, first and foremost, don't feel that their voices have been heard in terms of the fiscal impact and broader impact of increasing opportunities to e-learning. The main fiscal impact that our concern is that there are currently 22,000 students in Washington State who are qualified but are unable to receive state need grant funding in Washington. Stretching the state need grant funding, limited state need grant funding further will decrease access and affordability at our colleges and universities. That's our primary concern. We'd like to suggest that a year be given to further consider and research the ramifications of considering Western Governors University a state university. Students are eager to be part of that conversation, both the fiscal part of the conversation and the broader implications of expanding e-learning programs and technological advances, but do not feel that this is ready to be considered at this point. Thank you very much.
Next.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Tom Caswell. I'm Open Education Program Manager for the Washington State Board for Community and Technical Colleges. The Washington Community and Technical Colleges strongly support the bill. We support quality, affordable baccalaureate options for our transfer students. Western Governors University is such a model. WGU's flat rate tuition for most programs is under $6,000 a year. This is an affordable path for our students to continue their education. Our students have significant experience and success with online and hybrid courses. An online university will be a good baccalaureate option for many of our students who balance work, life, and school. SBCTC is already working with WGU to establish articulation and transfer agreements. We are also intrigued by the WGU model, which is prior credit awarded for competencies, accelerated time to degree, strong mentoring support, students allowed to progress at their own pace, and strategic use of technology to support learning. WGU is a leader in rethinking how higher education is structured in the 21st century. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. My name is Marcia Riddle-Rowley, and I'm faculty at Western Washington University. I want to first thank Senator Castleman for helping all of us think about education and funding in non-traditional ways. It gets important conversations started, and they're conversations we need to have. But at the same time, we have many fiscal concerns about WGU. After spending a great deal of time trying to learn more about WGU, and I think there's even more that we could find out, I'll share a couple and I'll leave a couple with you. One is, who's doing that? Me. Did I do that? I guess. One is that the president of Western Governor University in 2008 was paid almost $700,000. Almost half of that was in bonuses and perks. Now, I don't know about the nonprofits you work with, but the nonprofits I work with, that doesn't happen. That doesn't feel very nonprofit to me, and that's not money that's going into the state. That's money going out of state. Second, it's not clear what state's going to benefit financially from the tuition. People are paying $3,000 tuition for one class or two classes or three classes or four classes. If I was working, I'd be able to do one, maybe two classes every 6 months. So it's not clear, where is that money going? Is that money staying in the state where we need those tuition dollars in the state, or is it going somewhere else? Third, it's not clear who benefits from the employment. As the gentleman to my left said, you have mentors through Western Governors University. They don't appear to be mentors in Washington State. They are technical assistants. That is who is the primary mentor. It's not anybody teaching courses. It's technical assistants who then try and find a course for somebody to take. That's the person that is being contacted. That's the person, frankly, when I asked for information, emailed me consistently day after day, trying to get me to sign up to be a student. And those are jobs we need in our state. If we are going to have that kind of thing, then let's make sure those jobs are in our state. There's nothing in the bill that suggests, that helps us see where that money's going. So while Western Governor is appealing on the surface, underneath it does not offer a panacea, and I strongly urge us to slow down, to change it to a study so we can really carefully look at it thoroughly before we do this. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Mike Riley, Matt Manuel, Anthony Flynn, and Jim Ridley. And I want to encourage you all to focus on the fiscal issue and to be brief. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Julie Garver. I represent the Evergreen State College. I'm sitting in for Mike Riley, who's the Executive Director for the Council of Presidents. He's busy at the Other Ways and Means Committee across the way. Representing Evergreen State College and the Council of Presidents, our one concern about the bill continues to be with regard to the potential impact on financial aid. As mentioned earlier before, 22,000 students currently aren't served We would just like to work with you to make sure there's some sideboards in the bill that would allow us to have some protections so that we're meeting those students in Washington here who are in the queue already, and that we are able to fiscally grow or meet the state need grant requirements in the bill as we move forward. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Professor Manuel Central on behalf of the college faculty, and I wish I had consulted. We have the exact same concern. It's a short bill, and we're not clear what the legislative intent is on financial aid, and so we think that the bill would benefit by a clear statement. Are these students eligible for state need grant or not, so that we could, just have that information. Thank you.
Tony Flynn, Faculty Legislative Liaison from Eastern Washington University. This bill is baffling and therefore troubling. Everything that it proposes to provide is already available to students. We have direct transfer agreement efforts going on at the same time. I see no benefit because everything is already in place, and it will cost the state considerable resources. However optimistic the HEC board is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair Murray, committee members, my name is Jim Fridley. I'm a professor at the University of Washington, the faculty legislative rep. Our concern is also about financial aid. I would also like to point out, though, that I, along with me and my colleagues, work very hard on innovating in teaching and learning and delivery, and so we applaud what's going on everywhere in that regard. We also understand how important it is to get to where we can have more Washingtonians attaining bachelor's level degrees. So we would just urge you to address the financial aid concerns up front. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for your testimony. That completes the public hearing on 5136. We'll now move to 5182.